Good morning and welcome to the final and day 5 of FM Tech Week 2025. I'm Ed Buckley, and it's been my absolute pleasure to bring you the best and brightest from the FM industry to uh, share about information technology and its application to facilities management. Now, we've seen some great presentations this week, and it's been incredible to hear about new companies and new technologies coming into the industry. And today, we're going to take a quick look into a Microsoft technology that was announced in the past 2 weeks. John is joining us from Taiwan. So thank you, John. I'm sure it's kind of quite late in the day for you, right there. Uh, IDEA is an award-winning 25-year-old company that's been at the forefront of digital signage in the workplace. We were just quickly chatting about using CRTs for digital signage back in the day. So if
That's right.
anything digital signage, John has most
Ask
definitely
me.
seen it, most definitely done it. And without further ado, I want to hand over to John and thank you for coming along to FM Tech Week 2025.
Thank you, Ed. Good morning for everyone in North America. And if you happen to be joining from Europe, good afternoon. And if you're like me in Asia, good evening. I'm really glad that you stay up for this. But hopefully, this is going to be something rewarding for you. So actually, last week I was in Orlando for the InfoComm show held by the organization Avixa. And some analysts actually called the InfoComm show, which typically draws around 30,000 attendees each time. They were referring to it as the MDEP show. So this is like the debut of Microsoft new technology that's applicable to our workplace. So that's all I'm going to be talking about. And I made the title "Bridging the FM-IT Divide," as IDEA has been a proud member of IFMOD for many years, and we've spoken to the FM community. We understand, especially those of you on this call, you or your work is closely integrated with information technology these days. Um, yeah, so I hope you'll find this topic relevant to you when uh, you, as a facility manager, are qualifying technologies to bring into your workplace, into your build space. And these are you'll be faced with concerns around security, about how to manage the device once it's installed in the building itself. And to this date, to be honest, this is an open problem. And Microsoft is proposing a technology called MDEP, stands for the Microsoft Device Ecosystem Platform, to address the issue. So I'll be talking about that today. Before I start, just a bit of introduction on IDEA. So, as Ed introduced, we started doing digital signage around 25 years ago, to year 2000. And our business model, we build enterprise-grade devices to solve these business problems. And a lot of these fall into devices that have screens attached to them, namely digital signage, kiosks, including group booking panels, wayfinding devices, visitor management. I'll talk more about the class of devices that are more relevant to what we talk about today. But in addition to doing the devices under our own name, we also license the technology to a number of leading brands, as you see on the slide. So together, we have more than 1 million devices in the field, serving over 70 countries. So this gives us a good exposure to various sorts of issues that facility managers and IT people run into when they try to deploy these devices inside buildings for solving business concerns. Uh, My apologies for the poor audio performance, but as I was saying, we had years of experience dealing with enterprises, facility managers, especially, and also delivering devices not just through our own brand, but through multiple larger IT brands. So with all those experience, what I'm trying to summarize here today, some of the issues that facility manager typically run into, especially around security and manageability of the devices after deployment. And so today we'll be looking at these few topics on the screen. And one of the Right. So one of the topics that technology I'm gonna spend a little bit more time is on the Android operating system, which powered probably the most number of devices out there, and actually it powers many of the devices that we find in the build space. And this is where even Microsoft initially had concerns about bringing Android-based devices onto Microsoft campus. And that is why they developed their own version of Android called MDEP. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. Uh, MDEP has been only accessible to Teams, so these meeting devices, up until last week. And at InfoComm, the big announcement was now MDEP will be available on for digital signage devices. So this will bring direct impact to the build space and to I think the audience here, and which is what I will address. Okay, so facility managers are definitely involved a lot with IoT, making decisions around devices that get put into the into the buildings. And the use of IoT devices in for facility management is projected to grow at least 20% a year. And I could even see in some areas the rate is even higher. For example, after COVID, flexible work has made room booking panels in really high demand. So in specific areas, these devices are now put into the environment, so people can easily navigate the workplace and find spaces. Same with the environment control panels for controlling temperature, for example, for reading air quality information. So these devices are demand for these are on the rise. So these are all within the scope that we are going to touch on today. 35% of facilities now have adopted a building management system to control HVAC and lighting. So again, there are IT related decisions that need to be made that could involve a facility manager. And the facility management automation market is expected to grow to reach at 46 billion by sorry by 2028. And also the global smart lighting market uh, within facility management alone is forecasted to grow 15% a year from 2023 to 2028. So all these numbers are indicating that facility managers now need to get involved directly with a lot of technology decisions, and the demand for that is going to only increase. And there will be a lot of learning and also uh, I think collaboration that for FMs to be doing in conjunction with the ITs. And when these for example, when these devices are introduced, if security and the ability to manage the devices are not taken care of, they can result in serious consequences. I remember a couple of years back, IFMA held a executive summit, and the one of the years the focus was entirely around security concerns. And I believe later today there's also another session on this topic. So I think there's no doubt that ITs are going to scrutinize any technology that'll be brought into the buildings. So some of the examples on screen I put are what happens if things go wrong with these devices. So, for example, cyber war, especially within today's geopolitical conflict, are definitely a very sensitive topic. The devices, if they're not secured, they can be remotely hacked, they can be remotely controlled, and in the light sense, they can cause discomfort in the buildings. But when it's these attacks are done to more critical system, they can disrupt production. They can disrupt building operation and even cause life and death uh, concerns. Same thing with even Google itself had reported their BMS being hacked due to unpatched vulnerability. So how to keep these devices up to date? Uh, Cyber threats definitely evolve over time. So it is necessary to keep security patches applied to these devices. But to be honest, if you have introduced devices in the past into your spaces, you probably have not been applying firmware update as required every quarterly by Google or by Microsoft. On the personal Windows operating system, you probably have users updating them. But for the devices that are installed inside walls, whether they're getting updated, that is a concern, which we're going to talk about. Microsoft offers a solution today. Uh, Bonnet, even things as innocent as digital video recorders can be hacked and cause massive losses. So these are just some examples of what can go wrong and why security is important. Uh, so I wanted to just set a context on the scope of devices that we talk about today. Um, on the right-hand side are probably devices you're more familiar: sensors, environment control panels, kiosks, intercom. So these are devices that typically go inside a building. And if you're tasked to build a space where the tenants, the users, get a better experience out of it, you'll probably be involved in a few more devices, like around the center of the page here, digital signage in the lobby, for example, or maybe in hallways for internal communications. Wayfinding kiosks around the turns of the corners or around large campuses. And if you go to the left-hand side with hybrid meetings, today there's more meeting technology being brought into the office environment. It could be room booking panels, hot desking devices that you put on every desk, um, meeting controls for example, Teams and Zoom specific equipment, or it could be like controlling lights within a room, controlling the blinds, or it could be a conference room displays. So all these are devices that uh, FMs can be involved, not necessarily making the final decision, but definitely can be involved. And these are all points they call the vectors, potential vectors of attack that needs to be properly guarded. So Android is definitely one of the or probably the largest device operating system that's used out there, bigger than Windows, bigger than Linux. As of this year, there were about 3.3 billion device users and devices worldwide. And a lot of the devices I mentioned in the previous page could be kiosks, it could be the small panels that sit on walls, it could be the devices that sit on hot desks that indicate whether the desk is booked. Most of them could be running Android and could be running unmaintained version of Android that could other data could be threats to the build space. So we look at we know the problem. Hopefully, you're convinced that this is a point worth noting. And so, what does Microsoft do about it? Actually, in the beginning, Microsoft was looking at this problem when they are trying to build devices specifically for Teams conferences, Teams meetings, and they had two flavors to offer to the users. They offered the Windows version, they offered the Android version. Initially, Microsoft, as a corporate end user, refused to take the Android version. They will only have the Windows version because it is the more mature operating system that's always kept up to date through Windows updates. But they found out that actually users would often choose the Android device because it costs less, it consumes less electricity, and actually they are smaller, easier to fit into, and looking better inside the office space. So in the end, Microsoft wanted to tackle a few issues around Android. Namely, one of them is fragmentation. So if you look at Android devices, if you ask the vendor what version of Android you run on, you get a wide range of answers. You could even get devices that run on Android version 9 today, which is like 8 years out of date. And the latest Android 16, rarely you get any devices that's using that operating system for example, in kiosks and room booking panels. Also, these devices, once they're put into the environment, they're not kept up to date. So, in order to address these concerns, Microsoft, being a software company, being an operating systems company, looked at Android, which is a open source technology. They decided to bring Android in-house and apply Microsoft standards for security around that. So with any device that takes this flavor of Android from Microsoft, the device manufacturer is required to provide quarterly firmware updates for the end users. The end users, the IT teams, they have a choice to whether apply it or not, or they could take longer to test the new version to make sure it doesn't break anything before they apply them. But at least the manufacturers are required to make those updates available, just like for your cell phone. So this is one solution that makes Android solid enough that even Microsoft will now take Android Teams devices into their environment. So yeah, so and the big announcement last week was that up until last week, MDEP was only available for Teams devices. So the meeting room video bars, the touch controllers that sit on in meeting rooms, they can have MDEP on them, and only them. The big announcement last week is that now Microsoft broadens the scope, the coverage for MDEP to any interactive and non-interactive displays. So that is a big expansion of what can now have MDEP on running on them. And IDEA, we're very proud to be named as the leading partner for Microsoft to conduct this preview phase of their technology. Um, so what this means is for we can see this happening as early next year. That when you pick a device, you can have a choice from vendors who would have adopted the MDEP technology inside these devices. So with that, it means that the device, when it's brought into the environment, number one, it already contains all the Microsoft security, for example, the Microsoft Intune service that allows the device to be managed from the cloud, and to have firmware applied to them either on a scheduled basis or on a on-demand basis. So that is a required component. Intune is a required component of devices that run MDEP. Um, and security updates are required to be supplied by these manufacturers in a quarterly fashion. So I think this is one of the areas. I think you'll have more conversation with the IT team. Um, Obviously, a lot of the ITs, they follow closely on what Microsoft does. And when the choice is available to choose between a proprietary solution and the solution that Microsoft endorses or even is the leading provider, they would opt for the latter. And actually, I think this will make the conversation between you and the IT team a lot easier. So when you bring in devices, if the device has MDEP running on them, I think they will already check a lot of the security boxes that the ITs would ask anyway. And in terms of manageability, maintainability, I think it will also make them a lot easier in the discussion with the IT team. So what that the benefits that brings to the FMs, one is of course there's more security on the devices. and Microsoft puts their name to, as a guarantee for that with all the Teams devices that they build, and now more devices that are not non-Teams, including all these kiosks. Simplify device management. Actually, a lot of the corporate ITs already are familiar with service like Intune, which are already used in companies now to manage personal laptops, cell phones, and can be also applied to with the same environment. It's called the single pane of glass to have an overview of all the devices in the building as well. And it's just it's a seamless integration with the licenses and the program that IT has already committed with Microsoft. And now the OT, the operational technology, it's also fall under the same scope for ITs to feel easier to manage. So yeah, that's quite close to my time and my slides. But so my recommendations on what you can do here, of course, hopefully, I mean today it's the time is quite limited for you to understand the full scope of what MDEP offers. But I definitely think the IT teams will also hear more about what MDEP can bring from their communication channels. So definitely work with them and get familiar with what a improved operating system as the foundation of any device that you bring in can can help in terms of security and manageability. And if there are devices that are in within the organization, perhaps it is time to look at on their next refresh cycle. Typically, is 3 to 5 years. This device will be up for replacement. Um, Looking to an in-depth option. Again, IDEA is not the sole manufacturer. We're just a partner that Microsoft works with, and we also work with multiple brands. So it could be buying a Dell device, it could be buying a Lenovo device that has MDEP inside, and those will give you the extra guarantee that makes the conversation with ITs a lot easier. Um, and yeah, yeah, definitely a plan for a phased integration and also replacement as the renewal cycle comes up for these devices to get up to a safer, secure, more secure ground.
So, John, just before you
Yes,
go to the conclusion, we do have one question that's come in that
great,
might be worthwhile going through here. So,
sure.
John Kunzia has asked, "Will MDEP extend to Linux solutions or just Android and Teams devices?"
Great. Thanks for asking that. So, as of now, MDEP is a Android-based operating system. But what's very interesting, I think that is a great question that you brought up because we are in fact looking at a few Linux-based devices that we wish to have the same guarantee from Microsoft. If you look into the MDEP, I encourage you to Google for MDEP news. And last week, Microsoft, in part of their announcement, they announced this support for the technology called the Android Virtualization Framework, which is a native technology to Android that allows you to run multiple virtualized operating systems on top of Android. So this includes Linux. So this means you can have a device that's Android underneath, but to the user experience, it's a full Linux implementation. So we're actually evaluating a number of devices that are on Linux to see if this technology is applicable for us to have the same level of security for them. So yeah, John, if you're interested, I would love to have your contact and keep you up to date on this issue. If you can provide to ITC, I'll be happy to follow up. Good. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. My final slide. I think from our years of experience, bringing those devices can cause a lot of tension between IT and FM, and we believe that MDEP offers one solution to make this conversation a lot easier. And really think we encourage you to Google MDEP. There's a lot of coverage from Infocom News. If you have any questions, please send them to ITC. I would love to follow up with you afterwards and answer them individually. And I thank you for your time. I think I'm right on time. How am I
Wow,
doing?
that was perfect, and what a recovery for the sound issues as well. So thank you very much, John, for giving us that overview. I think this is super exciting. Having been around technology in our industry for probably the past couple of decades and experienced many of the frustrations of trying to integrate and engage with technology for day-to-day facilities roles. What has really come home to me is that the bigger technology players and the ones that can really help are now getting very, very interested
Mm,
in our platforms. Um,
right.
and I think a lot of that is due to the leadership of you and others. And I want to echo Matt Dawson's comment in the Q&A. Well done, and thank you for your leadership, support, and solutions to the REFM industry. And thank you for getting up late to be on prime time in North America. So
Well, it's entirely
uh,
my pleasure today, Ed, and thank you everyone in the audience. Thank you for your
wonderful.
time as
Thank you.
well.
Thank you. And so all it leaves for me to do is just thank John again and to thank each of you for being on the call. We have one more session today, continuing the theme of cybersecurity, where we will close out FM Tech Week 2025. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.